Todd casserole.
Oh, and then SFM crashed right at the beginning.
It's about right.
Yeah, that sounds like SFM. I was doing some other stuff right beforehand, and it eats up the RAM.
I did networking at my job today. I even made the Cat 5 cabling.
Yeah.
I haven't made Cat 5 cabling since high school. Had to give my brain a refresher course on that one.
It's just need cats.
Mm-hmm.
When I opened this up before, looking at the audio made me sad.
I'm gonna finish this tonight, right?
No. Why is these so fat?
No telling.
Because you can control and roll, and so you can open it, make it bigger. But I don't know why those were fat.
I need to look up how long it takes to cook.
Actually, why are these slightly off? Is it like... Okay. It's crossed over by that.
She's such a cute bone.
Huh?
She's so cute. You got the leather. We've been looking at that human monstrosity.
Howdy, Shadow. What human monstrosity? Oh, the other...
Sunset. There's another... Oh, I like that face. That face is the best. I didn't even notice you made her do that face for the longest time.
I don't really like it. I'm going to probably... No, I'm going to keep the same face, but I'm just going to play with it to clean it up to what I'm looking for.
She's got that.
I don't think, like, the jaw is turned enough. I feel like the jaw should be a little bit more...
A rocket just launched. Or is getting ready to launch. No, too much. Don't show teeth. She pucked her. It's adorable. Michael. No. You got boobs. You gotta be that cute. That's what you got, the scrunch toes. No! Her lower jaw. It collapsed. Too much. Overbite.
Well, yeehaw! Yeehaw!
Years and years of Apple family keeping it in the family.
Yup. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. She's yawning.
See what you've come to, Shadow King.
Oh.
Playing with poems.
Oh. You can just do stupid stuff. There we go. Oh, come on. There it is. See? There's nothing wrong with it, right?
No, what have you done?
No, this is fine.
No, I can see that picture.
There's nothing.
You broke her snoot. She can man-eater now. It's Aunt Dieter Jack.
Hi,
No.
Michael.
No. You're deformed.
Michael.
You're deformed.
Help me.
I want to. I have to reach over.
She's
No. She said, "Help me." I'm helping.
No, you're not allowed to.
Not. You just could torture me with cries for help from a poor pone you've deformed. Okay, you just need to take a screenshot of that. From that angle, it just looks like some sort of weird art piece. This is what I deal with. My love of poems and his love of torturing them.
Oh, there it is. Michael. I got no teeth.
Granny Smith.
Help me from all the sugar.
It just kind of like
apples.
Applejacks. She's in her 60s.
No.
She ate too many apples.
Help me. Help me.
No, only applesauce for you now.
Ooh. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum.
This video is definitely getting done tonight. Oh, she's just getting worse.
Michael. Yay! Yay!
Applejack after the accident.
Yay! Yay!
I mean, at least they let her pick up the apples. Yeah.
Okay, you need to.
She looks like she's having a seizure. She's going back.
There. Everything's undone. She's back to normal.
She's back to cute. She's a cute horse again.
The May 6
Hello.
finale. Yeah, I haven't actually paid attention to models as of recent.
I mean, all you would really need to do is retexture the existing models and maybe add some clothing articles. I don't think you'd really need to make whole new models.
Okay,
I guess the hair, yeah, you would have to make new models for the hair. Because all their hair is different.
Yes and no. The body structure is going to be a little different too.
Where was they? I felt like they were pretty much the same.
Oh yeah, it's not going to change too much in here, but we'll give it a shot.
They just changed their main styles, dulled their coats a little bit, and gave them like bags under their eyes.
I have it shut off at work. Why can't I shut off the video here?
Hello, new person.
Hello, Pony Gamer. I'm just trying to figure something out here quick, but welcome. I thought there was a way to... I know there's a way to shut off the video portion of it, but I am working on a video. I'm trying to figure out because when I'm streaming, my Comcast is bullshit, and so like it doesn't keep up with speed, so it won't do this that fast enough. But I have YouTube Music, which allows you to shut off the video, but I can't remember how to do it. That's why I have it set up at work. But here,
Oh, you can play just the audio from YouTube without the video?
if you pay for it,
Oh.
it's YouTube Music, so it will. I can use it on my phone. That's what I listen to music on my phone from when I'm in the car, and
I use Spotify.
Wait, there we go. Okay. I like it because it come basically with the paid service, and I have the paid service, so I don't have ads, and I don't, but still want to support the creators. So that's the compromise.
I see.
But But no, for this we have video. That was it. But everything's green is done. That's fade to black, so it doesn't count.
This is a cute
I
face.
think this siren needs to go longer because it comes in and there's no sound, so she's looking around confused, but there's no reason to be. So I think I'm gonna move that here.
She's an apple horse. She's always confused. Cute face.
Oh, it's because it cuts. So I think I might need to repeat this because it has like a slowdown period. Well, that's actually what this was. So I think I already noticed that. I think I'm gonna cut it here though. Yeah, that makes more sense now.
Oh, Prince Whatever is doing Source Filmmaker? That's interesting.
Aha!
I didn't know he did Source Filmmaker.
I wonder if I can just fade that out.
Other person. That's my name. You figured it out.
Hello, Widow. The collab thing? Oh, yeah. I'm no. I'm sorry. I try to stay out of those things. I have plenty of other stuff. I barely put time into my stuff, let alone other people. So no, I'm not going to be able to. When I'm not on stream, I'm not really working on stuff. All right. What does Let's Really do here?
What? Her butt still wobbles.
Yeah, because she's not locked yet.
Yeah, no, we should leave it.
No. Ah, okay. Well, I know he's been big in SFM stuff for a while, but cool to see him playing around with it. Creative guy, so. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play. I need to play with her face more. Is there anything I can do with Big Mac though? Because
he's so far in the back. All he needs to do is what he's already doing.
Oh no, he still needs something. Like I don't know what control I have over him right now. So it looks like there is some hair controls.
I remember the Fallout 4 stream we did years ago too. It was a special day for me.
What?
The Fallout 4 stream we did years ago.
Oh, the one where I was really drunk? Or the one where everybody was here? Oh no, that one. Okay, yeah. I did two.
I did two.
I did two different streams. One of them I was really, really drunk.
You got really drunk in both of them, I thought.
No, not as drunk on that second one. The first one I had a lot of Long Islands. And that...
Is that the one you covered Kyle in a bunch of plushies, or that was the sober one?
that was the one where I was more sober. No, the one I was super, super drunk. I didn't realize how drunk I was until I ended the stream, and then I stood up and I ran into a wall, and I was like, "Oh!" Like I was trash. But I know that I ended up murdering everybody on the Brotherhood's blimp And then I woke up to it burning on the ground, and I don't remember doing it. I had to watch the stream.
When you wake up from a rager and everyone's dead.
One of my favorite moments from that stream, though, was... The two was... Oh, I forgot. That's why it's playing over and over again. It's on one repeat. So... Alright, see you later, Pony. When I was... This one town, every time I went in, I teleported into the synth area, I would always, like, shoot the first guy. And, like, I would always go bang and then just reload, like, every time. It was like the same guy. But the other one was I was on the Brotherhood ship, and I remember when I was murdering everybody, and there was a hallway jam-packed full of people, and I hit VATS, and it locks onto a little kitty cat right away, the very first thing, out of like 6 people summon power armor shooting at me, and it locks onto the cat. I'm like, fuck that cat. I killed the cat. It was just... No, but that stream was from years and years. That was at my... Not the last apartment, the apartment before that.
Speaking of Fallout, though, apparently they're going to do another huge update to 76 and add in a bunch of NPCs.
Yeah. They're also coming to Steam. 76 is coming to Steam.
I thought it was already on Steam.
No, so it's only on Bethesda's.
Oh.
But it does sound like if you currently own it, you'll be able to still go onto your character there. It just won't transfer your atoms.
I don't care about the atoms that much.
Yeah.
I would be interested in playing the game again if it has a story like Fallout games are supposed to have.
I don't think if they add NPCs, they're going to add an entire story. It's probably going to be a secondary thing. It'd be really hard to rehash a game to make that work.
I mean, expansions. Every expansion's had like huge story implements added.
But this isn't an expansion; it's an update.
Yeah. Maybe after this next update, I'll try it out again.
I thought about going back and playing again, but they had the little bit not long ago where people were able to yank your entire inventory. Though Bethesda fixed it, and if you were affected, they would give you all your stuff back and like $45 worth of in-game currency. Which is quite a bit. But to get your items back, they have no way to force it back in your inventory or to roll you back. So you had to contact them. Then they would schedule a meeting so that a representative with your inventory would meet you and trade it to you. It's so funny, but I'm guessing that's why they're giving you $40-something worth of things. Yeah. Of like, yeah, we're sorry and we know this is horrible.
Yeah, I feel like 76 can be a good game, and I feel like they're working on getting it to be a good game. It's just that they've tripped over every rock along the way.
I think that they can get it there, but the tools that are currently available within the software don't let them, and so they basically have to redo the entire thing. From like, I think if it's all you have to do is the top level stuff, that's easy. But if you have to go down and actually change mechanics, like add NPCs when there's not the ability for it or something, that's you have to dig your way down, then fix a bunch of stuff, and now you just did something that's touching everything, and you have to test your way back up.
I mean, they're building it off the same engine that they used to make 4. They're using the same files for the most part.
Yeah, but there's still, I'm guessing that the multiplayer bits threw things in there that made NPCs difficult.
Yeah.
So, and there was like a test area that people found access to that had an NPC in it. That was walking around. I don't think he talked, though. I mean, there's no voice, but he would walk around and interact. So,
once it comes to Steam, they do that update. I think I'll hit it up again.
No, we played 76 when it first came out, and I actually had fun. The only thing that was frustrating was the friends list. Trying to get in games with people. Besides that, I actually had a lot of fun. I have like 100-something hours in it, and I was like level 140 when I quit. But I quit because I had explored everything and have gotten most of the stuff I cared about, so there wasn't anything left for me to do, at least from my perspective. So.
I didn't finish the game. I got really far into it, but I never actually finished the main quest. And one of the reasons is the character I decided to start playing more than any other character was focused on melee.
Yeah, you were being an asshole with that character.
Well, only to one
You were
person.
being a naked grandma with fists.
Well, with a drug problem.
Yes.
I was role-playing in my role-playing game. She ran around the wasteland with a rolling pin, and she killed monsters with it.
Not just a rolling pin. She
Occasionally I'd pull out the sword, but it's most of the time I would run around with the rolling pin because it was funnier. But it was pretty effective, except when I got to a mission where you have to shoot airplanes out of the sky. Turns out that's really hard to do with a rolling pin. And I was like, I'm in trouble.
He's high. Why is his eyes not shut all the way? That's weird.
He's got a weird face. It's very square.
I'm actually going to fix that.
Ah.
Need to get rid of these.
I do not know what Dog's Legion is.
Hmm?
I do not know what Dog's Legion is. Dog Legion. Whoop.
Okay, this. Oh, okay, good. It does take his eyes a little bit to catch up.
Watchdog game. Okay, yeah, I heard of those. Mainly because there were pony references in the first one.
Oh, on our chat, it cut it off to say, I want to play Watch, and then the next line was Dogs Legion. So my brain just read it, I want to watch Dogs Legion. I'm like, I have no idea what that is, but okay. Dogs Legion.
I think the only thing that I even registered with me as in Watch Dogs was apparently if you zoomed in with a sniper scope at a car at a really far distance that was outside the area you could actually walk around in, you could see on the keychain in the car a little tiny Trixie or something on the keychain. They're hidden little pony references. He's got having like the "my people need me" moment where he just starts rising into the air. My people need me. My people need me.
This is
but
a very
not
adventuring
too
music
quickly.
for this.
He's sad because he gets no boops.
We made boobs.
No.
I don't have his boobs.
He's just
like
angry.
Boobs.
We're from sad to angry.
We made boobs. Don't fuck with me.
He really says whoops.
Fuck with me. Kick your ass. Little bitch.
Oh, why is Big Mac an asshole?
Okay, when his head goes up, should I have his ears go back?
I mean, yeah, he is moving pretty quick, so you should have him almost being pushed down. just by it for the moment.
No, I want to have him be stiff the whole time. So I'm not gonna. Once he goes in that position, he's staying like that the whole time, because that's part of the joke.
I mean, his ears would go back because he's afraid.
Yeah,
of being a horse.
But I don't know if it would work.
That looks good. Kinda. Oh, jeez.
Hi,
Got
Michael.
horns. No. Actually, that's pretty good. I don't know. It's kind of weird at the same time.
How about instead of? What do I do there?
Because they almost look at rabbit ears the way they're going down. That's actually a little better.
And I can have him.
So Zayd. Soon.
Nah, I think it's actually funnier just having him be stiff Mac.
I do have to agree. You know, if you're going for funny, it's better that he stays stiff.
Yeah, I think it is better with his ears staying up, to where it makes me feel like it's like Big Mac's a fainting goat, but instead of falling over, he just like he just is now
goes rigid out of fear. Like no. That moment of no. Jeez, I was just like my brother. I only got one of those. It's flying away. I'm gonna go start putting the cast all together. Just lay down.
Oh, wait. He's like, Matt.
Freezes in fear.
And then you do this.
No. Okay. Make it so that the vault opens, but then flings them off into the distance. That'd be amazing if the vault door just threw him like a catapult. Oh, that sounds like a lot of work. You just go. No. Oh no.
I'm not keeping any of this. But.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. What's happening with his legs? Like, no! No! He's trying to run, but he can't run.
It's like one of those like those toy horses when they just lose their balance and they fall over. It's like
no. Oh no, poor horse.
Okay, I'm gonna undo.
Because
I'm gonna undo fainting horse.
You just have to do that with a cuter horse, and it'll be adorable. I will be back.
I think I have him. Is the head? I think the head still tries to track. I was actually meaning to. No, that'd be too much shadow at the same time. This whole thing is to lead into the next shot, and so anything I do besides having the rocket be at the end of the other one would just create a disjoint between the two shots. So I can't do too much. And plus, I'm not a fan of injecting my OC in for the purpose of putting my OC in. If I need an extra in the background or just to use as filler, I'll do it. But I don't know. I find it awkward when people throw their OC in because it's their OC and they want to make it popular or something. No, I like sneaking it in places. That's about the most I'll do. I do realize that there is dirt visible here. I probably should fix that too. It goes right there at the top line. But I can't. I gotta move the dirt down, or I gotta move. Okay, I think this might work.
Doesn't take as long to cook as I thought it did, so
How long
we're
is it?
off. About 40 minutes. So
Oh, okay. They had a tater tot hot dish at work not long ago, where I put the tater tots underneath everything because I like to get it all mushed in there. They put it on the top so that they get crispy, and so there's two very different ways to make it. I like the way that's just a big old mushy mess.
a lot of ways to make a casserole, man.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to make a hot dish.
Does anybody else think he's rambling nonsense?
What's your name?
Not by choice.
No, you made a choice to let me choose.
It snowballed.
The fact that Midnight put that on your badge too is the best.
You put it on my badge. That's my name on her server now.
Yeah, so those that may not know the story. So Michael had made a mistake of during before Ciderfest this year, or the previous one. He said he didn't know what to put on his badge to let me pick and not tell him. And so since he's from Kentucky, everything's a casserole, and in Minnesota, it is a hot dish. And he refuses to call it such, and it has been a joke. So for the convention, since I got to pick his name, I named him Hot Dish. And he didn't know about this. And so the day of, I made sure he didn't use his phone to go and look up his badge or anything. And so he was a sponsor, so we went up there, and I had the Kyle pulled off to be there too, and a couple of the other guys. And goes up to the guy and gives his name, and so the guy goes to give him his badge, and it says Hot Dish. And Michael had a moment where he seriously was like, oh no, that's not mine. And then it clicked, and it was a glorious moment.
That click.
That click, because you going, oh shit, that is my badge.
My head was like, that can't be right. Wait a minute. I made a horrible mistake.
And then and then we recently had a kind of a small friend event that was a fake convention that we went to. And there they made fake badges, and they gave him a badges at Hot Dish. Plus, you almost had one of the VAs sign something, Hot Dish.
It was the VA for Starlight. Yeah, she looked up on my badge and she was getting ready to sign something. She's like, should I make this out to Hot Dish? And I was like, no, please don't do that.
Somebody said that they were there when that happened, and they were there. They remembered that conversation because they just happened to be in the room, the autograph room.
Oh no! It's like, please do not.
So, can I name your Winnie City one?
No.
Or did you already do it?
I haven't done it yet, but no.
Why not?
We're good. We're good. You got the one. I already have a name picked out for Winnie City.
But you could be like Mecha Hot Dish.
Mecha Hot Dish. The evil nemesis to Hot Dish. Ugh. Ugh. Interesting thing I remember about Kelly is that the voice she does for Starlight's just her voice. That's all it is. So it's impossible, just listening to her talk, it's impossible not to just picture Starlight as a result.
I think having his tail drop is, well, if I do, I have to bring it up beforehand, though. Otherwise, it just feels like it's moving backwards with his body. No, that's too much.
I wonder if she's going to be in the Pony Life.
I would think so. She kind of when did she become, like the main seven?
She kind of did and didn't at the same time.
But when was she added as such?
She showed up...
Not as a bad person, as a good person.
Season 6, I think? Because I think she showed up as a bad person in Season 5. And then she got redeemed and...
Because if that's the case, then she was basically a main character for a third of the show.
Yeah.
So...
She and Trixie had their own thing going on, too. That was completely separate from the main 6.
I know, it was nice because it took a fresh turn, not just...
Yeah.
I mean, the main 6 are fun and all, but how much more can you do with them?
Well, the main 6 had their flaws, but overall they were good people. Okay. Trixie and Starlight were bad people trying to become good, but they were still kind of problematic at the same time, and it made them wonderful characters.
Well, Starlight was, to me, a good character. Well, I mean, a good person. She had flaws, but she was not she wasn't trying to get over evil things. Trixie, I don't think she was ever evil or not. She just learned to be less dick. Like, kind of. I don't think she was ever evil. She was just selfish.
She was very egocentric,
and she still is.
And she still was by the end of the show. It's just that she
had people that if she as a friend that she knew that being too much of one would be detrimental. I mean,
one of my favorite episodes with those two is when Trixie accidentally teleports away the freaking friendship map. Like, oops! And she's like, we gotta find it. Yeah. I'm thinking of nuts. Let's go get nuts. It's like, dude, you're kidding me. It's like she just doesn't care. I love it. Trixie is arguably one of my favorite characters as a result. She's just oblivious, I think. Like, she wants things and she doesn't really care how it affects other people. I even think if she was left in Ponyville after a time, she would just get bored and wander off. Like after, because the only reason she even took over Ponyville was because she was pissed off at Twilight. But as soon as she figured if Twilight gave up on trying to get back into Ponyville, Trixie would have lost interest.
Actually, still one of the best Trixie moments is when she was making Snips and Snails drag the cart without wheels.
Yes. I don't trust wheels. That was a meme forever.
Well, just the video of them dragging it, and she's just sitting on there.
Yes. Man, I kind of want to go back and watch some of the like first few season episodes all of a sudden. That would be a nostalgia trip if nothing else. I'm still just waiting to see when they actually announce when Pennywise coming out. You think they would have by now.
That's Big Mac.
Maybe. They had a lot in common. Though Trixie is a little bit more extreme in some ways, emotionally. I don't think there was a bad episode when it focused on Trixie and Starlight. I think every one of those episodes was golden. I don't know, it was just Critter with a weird face. Got the super scrunch.
Yeah, still, it's from this angle that I'm not really liking it. I feel like this is too boxed, so I'm trying to.
You got the nose scrunch.
If I drag that in, then I have other problems. So I need to grab all these and move it.
No, that
but then
looks
I
worse.
but then I have problems with the bones.
Yeah, I think you want to keep it there. Well, I remember hearing from the original staff and Faust when they were writing Trixie, she was initially intended to be male, but some other staff members thought she should be female, and she was actually happy with the change at the end. So that would have been a big shift in her character. That nearly happened. Little things like that are kind of fun. She's got a very dirt face there. Dirt. Also, remember Tabitha St. Germain saying when she originally did the voice for Derpy, she thought Derpy was a boy, which is just horrible on her part, but it kind of explains why she did the voice the way she did the first time through. Much more deeper.
I thought the voice when she first did it was fine.
I thought so too, but apparently Tabitha thought she was voicing a boy. I did like her voice better when they redid it, though. Everything else, like taking away her name and stuff, bothered me more than that.
Oh, I think I know what the problem is.
Yeah, I saw that too. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, Celestia probably wanted her sister back. And 1,000 years, or 1,000 moons, however long that is a long time, I would imagine. To be trapped on the moon. I mean, Lauren Faust kind of hinted at the fact that she hinted at that being the case from the very beginning when she said that the stars and the sun and the moon aligned. It's like, and she's just like, "Hey, who controlled all that stuff?" It's like, "Oh, right, Celestia." So, I was always kind of waiting for an episode where the main six would travel back in time. And they would be the ones to release Nightmare Moon from the moon. But I never got that episode. I thought that would have made a fun episode. Well, generally when you think of a moon, you think of an entire moon cycle from new to full and back to noon. Or, not noon, new. That's what I think when I think moon. And I think that's... How often does the moon go through its entire cycle?
28 days or something like that.
Roughly a month.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
the old way of keeping track of months.
Keeping track of a month, so 1,000 months. That's still a long time.
1,000 months is 1,000 years divided by 12.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
Don't make me do math.
1,000 years divided by 12.
Longer than an average lifespan.
Where I like that a bit more.
$1,000 divided by 12. Love technology.
It's gonna be like 80 years or something like that, or 100, or 80 years.
$1,000 divided by 12. I hate technology. You know what? 80 years. That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, I just guessed.
No, I my thing's not working, so I disagreed with you.
Oh. Well, that's why you just go boop, boop.
Oh, boop it. Let me just pull out the calculator. I'm not going to talk to it. It's broke.
It's 83.
You were very close. So, she could have just been on the moon for 83 years.
And actually, it wouldn't be that hard to do it in your head. So it's 1,000 divided by 12.
I know, I just don't
so it's
want
500
to.
divided by 6, which is 250 divided by 3. 250 divided by 3 is 270, and 240 are the threes that are around it. So if you do the math, that's 1/3 between those. So that's the 0.33, and then 83 would be.
Yeah. I just didn't want to. It wasn't that I wasn't able to. It's that I didn't want to put forth the effort. because it's been a long day. But I mean,
I spent all my day writing formulas.
I did networking all day, setting up stuff.
I got my review today at work.
That's neat.
I was the only person in my department that got the review, the level of review that was given. Everybody can get a level scale, and I was the only one that got that scale level.
Why?
Because I've only been there for 8 months, and he says that I've done enough work for 2 years or something like that. So I'm just
neat.
Doing really, really good. So I had the highest possible ranking, which means probably a better raise. So
it's good.
Yay! Hi, Lightning. I haven't even looked over there for a sec.
I mean, if you take 1,000, like...
Oh, is it still blocking Derpy?
Yes, because you're a jerk.
I thought I actually got rid of that. Let me fix that.
Yeah, he banned Derpy on his stream, her name, because he's a monster. But we've been over
I'm
this.
a monster.
You are. You have a flaming Derpy, like, thing you pull up sometimes.
Let me this out, man. Block terms and phrases.
Derp horse, Derpy. Derpy with 2 E's and Derpy with a 3. All blocked.
Because you kept finding new ones.
I'm not gonna kept on going, dude.
There, it's fixed. You can say Derpy now.
Good God, dude. Yeah, you see what this is what I deal with. He's crazy.
You still can't say pancake or walrus.
No, that's fair. Why walrus though?
I did it because the greatest thing is if sometime like 6 months from now somebody in chat for some reason goes to say walrus and is banned and they get really confused and then they want why, and I'm never gonna say.
I mean, I'm wondering why right now.
There is no reason. There is no reason. I just picked a random word and it was walrus.
Walrus, okay.
So that yes, I just want it's playing the long game with jokes.
That's a very long game you're playing.
Me and my old roommate had a game we used to play where we never spoke a word of it to each other, but we apparently both played it. Where I had a clipping of this really stupid like kids show head out of a advertisement, and I just the one day like hid it under his keyboard. Apparently he didn't move his keyboard for a while, and like 2.5, 3 weeks later, I ended up finding it in some other random place on my desk. And so it became this thing for like 1.5 years that we would go and hide this on each other. We wouldn't hide it in some place that would be found quickly. We would hide it someplace that you would go in eventually, but probably not often. And in the most weirdest of places. Like the one of them I found, it was taped under my desk, like over here. It took me like a month before I noticed it was under there. And then like I went under, I'm like, oh fuck. And so then I have to go hide it. We never spoke about it. To this day, we have never spoken about us doing that for 1.5 years. It was just this undone thing. And then I mentioned one of my coworkers at work, we started doing it randomly with a picture of like Dave Chappelle. I can't remember why. Like she left it on my desk, and we just went back and forth again for like about 4 months, just randomly in places. The one time I like had it hanging in one of her cabinets, and then the other time was in one of my drawers, and so we started going back and forth. It was so fun.
I think if all of a sudden I found a picture of Dave Chappelle just hanging at my computer and I didn't put it there, I'd just be very, very, very confused.
I know, that's the greatest part about it. Having those moments where you have something so confusing happen that you literally have a brain shutdown moment where like everything collapses into one moment and you lose track of time. Those are great when you can get people with those. We did that once. Like my friend was going to school in in Florida, and we didn't tell him, but we had booked I had booked tickets with his parents to go down there, but he didn't know I was coming. And so they got the plane, and he goes and says hi to his parents, and then like I tapped him on the shoulder. He turned around, and he's like, "The fuck." Like,
why are you here?
Yeah, it was just out of nowhere.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a much better scrunch face.
Scrunch faces are cute.
I just did not like how it looked before, and now it actually feels like a good scrunch face.
Yes.
Actually, I can probably do it a little better too. So when she goes down, I can probably put the nose down.
Unscrunch.
And let's even grab all the facial muscles or facial bones except that. We're just gonna drag it down a little. If I do that, I'm gonna have it go quicker for that. Look at those scrunch.
Hey, scrunching is so cute. You need to do more scrunch. All the ponies should be scrunching all the time.
She's eating hay.
That's the one thing they never did in the show that I'm still kind of angry about.
They had hay burgers.
But no, just like out in the field eating grass. I wanted that, and it never happened.
I swear somebody did.
No.
But they're civilized. Do you go and eat grass?
I don't eat grass, period. What do you mean?
Well, there you go. Then why are you
They're
expecting
horses!
the Yeah?
Like, one of the favorite moments was this episode 1, season 1, where she ate daisies off the table. I loved that. You think they're on the table just to be an accent, and then she's eating them as a snack.
But I also thought that horses can't eat daisies.
No, they shouldn't eat a lot.
Yeah, I thought they were poisonous to them.
The stems of... I don't know if daisies are. I know, like, daffodils. The stems are poisonous. Talk to humans and pets. That's
including horses. That's lilies, though. Is that the same thing?
As daffodil? What's different?
Wikipedia has an entire thing of list of plants poisonous to equines.
Wait, those purple ones are poisonous? I wonder the horses. See, the horses know not to eat them, though.
It's not. Oh, probably daisies. No, it's not coming up. I swear that they that it was something they couldn't eat. Oh, they can't eat hemp. It's probably different hemp. Well, they can't have horseradish.
No,
it's in the name.
Like, hemp's poisonous in the sense that it'll get the horses high. Will it kill them?
It's 7.
Yeah, it's just a stage 1 drug.
No, for the you were gonna make something.
7?
It's 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I was gonna wait till 7:15.
Okay.
I might need more time because I am making a double batch. I'll go in 10 minutes. But I want to see this horse scrunch. Now you just need to finish by putting sauce.
So I think
that's the real question.
I think for the most part, other than her hair when she comes around, I could probably have hang down. I have a feeling this is not going to be something I'm going to be able to do with this current bone. Yeah, I think that should be fine. It's moving a little bit, but it's because there's that secondary bone on there.
Maybe at least another one of those 3D Pinkie Pie things, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
It took me 6 months before I watched the first one of that, and that was at a panel.
But you said you were afraid to watch it because you thought it would be better than the stuff you make, and then you looked at it and you're like, oh no, that sucks.
No, it was really well animated.
Yeah.
It was actually really well done. It was just, you're taking a medium that was for one thing and putting it in the medium of another thing, and they don't work together. I don't think that level of detail works with ponies.
Yeah.
It was too. It was. It's that uncanny valley thing. When you're playing with the cartoon horses, you're staying quite a ways away from reality, so you're fine. But they were moving so close enough to reality that they started tipping into that valley, and that's why it got weird. That's why a lot of the time with SFM, people in this area, I could have went more realistic with some of the background stuff, but then it just doesn't fit the feel.
Yeah.
But that's why, some of this stuff, I go a little bit more realistic because I'm going super sciencey. But no, or in these bits, I'm going to go more realistic. Mm-hmm. That's why the clouds look a lot more detailed here than they do here. But.
Speaking of that, though, it's kind of crazy. Ever since the show ended, Hasbro's been putting out all these weird skits, like the 2 Pinkie Pie things with the CG. They just released a bunch of stop-motion animation things.
Because they have to keep... You can't just say it's ended and then not have any content from the IP, because then you're going to get people that are waning off. Yeah. So they have to keep doing it to it's like giving people rungs for the monkey bars, and if you don't give them enough space between, they're just going to fall off.
Like even the Pony Life thing, they have put out 3 different designs for the characters for that, completely different from one another.
Gauging reaction. There was one 3D one I saw, claymation.
Yeah, that's the stop motion stuff I was talking about. They've done a couple of those.
I want that. That was actually cool. Yeah. I liked that.
You like the stop motion?
No, the stop motion claymation was awesome. It was reminiscent, and it was still cartoonish.
Well, they've made 3 of them.
I've only seen a GIF that was 3 seconds long, and I loved it.
Yeah, they're pretty long. They don't talk. No. They just go ooh and ah and stuff.
That's fine. You can add voices.
Yes. Yeah, the claymation stuff was cute. The 3D Pinkie Pie was fun, but I don't know. It did kind of dip into uncanny a little bit.
It was. I don't think it was at the bottom of the pit, but it was on it. It was halfway down.
It's clear that's the only. Just her and Gummy are the only models they've bothered to make.
Well, there's probably no need for the others.
Yeah.
But then why did they choose to... Well, no, they probably chose to do her because everybody else would be even so much more towards trying to be realistic that it would be down that pit completely. At least Pinkie Pie tries to pull it back up in the unrealistic a little bit.
She's the one character who can pull off the cartoonish bouncy bounce.
And we already predispositioned to it, so... Yeah. If that was people's first introduction, I can see it being a little weird.
If you had freaking Rainbow Dash coming in, bouncing off the walls, or, I don't know, Fluttershy with spaghetti arms, that might be a bit weird.
I would like that.
Heck, what if they all came out singing Good as Hell? That would be odd.
Did you start singing The Killer's Mr. Brightside or some weird
Might
shit?
As well. I mean, that's exactly what they did in that Pony Life commercial. Just screaming Good as Hell. It's
it's just sudden Slipknot and Pinky's
they're working towards it.
Or Korn.
It would be kind of amazing and terrifying at the same time if the next G5 was geared towards an older audience. But at the same time, it wouldn't be entirely surprising because they would know the biggest audience they probably have are the ones who fell in love with G4 when they were kids, not the ones who fell in love with it when they were 28, like I did. But the ones
How old do you know?
34.
You spent 15% of your life on Pony.
I mean, they've been the happier parts, so I'm not gonna. I mean, before that, it was just whatever game just came out. Which got old after a time.
So what is it now?
I'm grounded. I have something I know I can turn to that'll make me happy no matter what. And it's a nice feeling.
Okay, so this folds over a little bit.
You were also 28 when you started watching horses? No, the person.
Oh, really? Bro!
Yay, oldness.
I
Remember when Jay turned 30? He was like, I'm too old for horses now.
can't. How old was I? 2012.
You started watching it before I did, so probably 28.
End of season 2.
28. I watched it at the end of season 3 when I started watching it.
Mm-hmm. I've been in here longer than you.
You have.
Get out. Get out of my fandom.
But that's what Jay called me, because I didn't join till the end of season 3, and I kind of joined when the fandom was like exploding, and he had a word for, because he started watching it like season 1, so he was like, I'm the old brony, and he called us like, I mean, there were a lot of people who joined around that time who were just in it for the fad.
I'm glad they're gone.
Yeah, a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of them I had made friends with, and they all disappeared.
There were so many people at the local meetup group that were immature because they were there for the fad, and they were saying lewd, gross things really loud in front of Legoland, in front of kids, and getting. It was just they almost dissuaded me from the group for a while, but I stuck it out, and you started seeing the people that came and went. And there was some really cool people I made friends with when we first started, but they only stick around for a couple months, and then I never heard from them again.
For some people, like, the show was the equivalent of dabbing. It was something that was different and, like, I don't want to say cool, because I don't know if Ponies was ever cool, but it was counterculture, and people enjoyed the counterculture part of it, but only up to the point where it stopped being the new hip thing. And then they got bored and they moved on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's why, like, they say when panel or con attendance went down, but I'm like, yeah, but the people that are there are much more fun to deal with, to interact with. They're the people that the fandom should have as the base and the one to reference. But early on, everybody that was looking at things saw the creepy people, and now it's you have people comfortable where they are, and they're still from the outside. You can like I saw a tweet not long ago with like people doing like some talking with plushes, and I'm like, but yeah, from our perspective, we're just like, hey, it's fun. It's people expressing themselves in any way that they feel without any care or judging from other people. But from outside perspective, it's like there's a bunch of grown men with plushes that are just like, and I'm like, and
I do that sometimes.
I know, but it's but now it's like. I don't know. It feels like that's the norm for the fandom, and I love that people do that. But then, but the people that would go and take it a step further and be aggressive and stupid and make fun of those people are all gone. So now the fandom's not super cool. So now nobody's bashing bronies anymore, which is nice. If you go somewhere and like if you have a picture of a pony somewhere, somebody might say it's stupid brony, but they're not actively going out to find people like they used to.
I mean, I know my boss has seen my my screen on my phone. He doesn't care.
I probably did beat you at BrodyCon, but I can't remember. I met a lot of people. 2019 was nuts. I expected busy, but that was another level of busy.
I mean, the only con I'm going to go to this year probably is Winnie. I'm a little bummed by that, but with the whole Texas thing and wedding, I got to go to this year.
I'm only going to 2. I usually go to 4, maybe 5.
I mean, there are some people trying to get you to go to TriCon.
I'm not going to TriCon. No, there's nobody trying to get me to go to TriCon.
I haven't go to TriCon.
No, I'm not going to TriCon.
If you actually went to TriCon, I'd go. Jay's going.
No, I have
Jay's going.
I have the 2 conventions, and then we did the Texas trip, which I consider kind of a half convention.
It was a convention. It was just a very local.
But I'm going to Utah for like a week. But it's during a holiday week, so I'm only using 3 days of vacation. But there's really no other convention that interests me. There's like Everfree, but I don't want to go back there again. Then BabsCon, it was fun, but a lot of the local people are what make it fun for me, and I'm some go, but for the most part, it's not. And not to say that I don't have fun with the people that are there. I do have a lot of fun, but it's just not what I'm looking for. The party rooms are super cool.
I will say I wouldn't be that interested in going to TriCon if I was going to Cider Fest. It's the fact that I'm not going to Cider Fest that's going to leave me wishing I had gone.
Why don't you just go with Jake?
Because Jay breaks off to hang out with.
There's plenty of other people. Midprem's probably going.
Yeah. There would be nobody there I could consistently hang out with. I would try to hang out with Jay, but Jay would have his own group that he'd be wanting to hang out with.
Some of the most fun I've actually had at conventions are when I just wander. Like BronyCon especially. But Everfree was nice just because the time difference was when I normally be getting up at like 7, 8 a.m. here, so that was 5 or 6 there. I'd get up with an ass crack of dawn at like 5:30, shower, and I get to the con hall before really anybody else did. And it was just watching everything come to life was fun. I actually really enjoyed that.
I'm going to start cooking food.
Okay.
When I come back, those horses all better have socks.
No.
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, BronyCon I think was the only one that you could really wander at. Because it was just a big area and there's so much to see. You could go and do a circle, and by the time you came back around, there'd be something new there. But a lot of the smaller ones, wandering is a little harder. But mainly that is... I was thinking about going to HarmonyCon, but I ended up passing just because I had too much going on at too little time. One of the funnest things to do, and I've done it twice at different conventions, is I'll have a couple drinks just to loosen up, but then I will go and find a random group or a random person that looks like. I mean, there's certainly people that look like Leave Me Alone, but somebody that's just playing on their phone, or a small group of people that are talking in a corner, and just sit down and talk with them. And whatever you do not talk about yourself. Ask about them continuously, and like, who are you? Where are you from? What do you like to do? Why are you here? When did you get to Pony? That kind of stuff. Just do that for a while. And I was doing it, or we were at the first Mayhem at BronyCon, and I had gotten a couple of drinks, and it was between different sets, and I was just like, you know what? I really want to just talk with people. So I went and just sat down with the group. I just started, like, they were in the middle of a conversation. I just sat down. I'm like, I just said, hi, you can tell me to go away if you want, and that's perfectly fine. But otherwise, I just wanted to chat. Who are you and where are you from? And they ended up being like this super 3 people from England that were just super nice, super fun. Went from them to another group, and then to another group, and then to another group. And the whole night, I just had super interesting conversations. But I always tried to keep the focus on the conversation to the other party. Because if you suddenly sit down and start talking about yourself, nobody cares. But it's just seeing all the unique people. It's really, really fun. So if you go to a convention and there's not much going on, just do that. It's just having a couple drinks helps, because it's just for loosening up and being goofy. But yeah, I did it again, a little bit of Cider Fest, but sometimes I get caught up talking with a single person. But no, it's super cool. Her ear is going absolutely bonkers. Yeah. Well, it's that whole thing between like introvert and extrovert. The way I always just see them is, to me, introvert and extrovert aren't really different. It's about what situations you're willing to be one or the other in. And to me, an extrovert is more willing to open up the conversation to just anybody, but most of the times for an extrovert, not all the time, it tends to be more self-focused, because it's a lot easier to open up to people if you just focus on your side of things, not about connection. But like an introvert is going to be withheld, but if you put them in a situation where it's something they're passionate about, normally something nerdy or whatever, and the conventions are where people are nerdy about something, they become an extrovert. They will be outgoing in ways that you won't see them in any other situation. So I think that the distinction just depends on what the situation is. Yeah. Well, it's where you're starting the conversation about the other or on a topic of the other person. A lot of people really want to talk about themselves. I think that's just human nature. People want to go me, and talk about the things that they're doing in their life, and they want to relate it to things. So yeah, if you could start a conversation with regarding plushies or where'd you get that, that's about the same. I think I might not care on making her super detailed. Her tail looks perfectly fine, but I think that was already animated before. But I think most of the focus isn't going to be on her. It's going to be on Big Mac. She's in focus because she's supposed to be what you're paying attention to right now. But as soon as she churns, it's my way of throwing the attention to the background. And I still don't know if I want to change the focus, because right now it stays on Applejack the whole time. I have to do a pre-render of this, I think, and verify that. I'm going to make a note just so I don't forget. So this is going to be well, it's not about getting the most attention. It's normally you can use depth of field to help push people to focus on the things that you want them to be focused on. And so in this case, I am keeping focus on her, so she will be the main focus of attention because she is moving the most, and she is in focus. As soon as she churns, though, and you no longer have her eyes, you're going to naturally be drawn to somebody else's eyes, which is going to be back there to him. But he is out of focus. And whether or not I should change it to focus, because I almost guarantee you that if I change the focus to him, it's not going to work. Or that Applejack is going to be too out of focus then. So this would be him in focus. It's actually not bad. I thought it was going to throw her way out of focus. But, this distance isn't that bad. Okay, no. That's not that bad. A lot of times I'm playing with like a perceived distance, artificial ones, where I have somebody really close and something not so far away or something. So I up the aperture to make it appear like a further distance difference. But then when I change the focus, this character would get blown out on weird... on really weird aperture, And the problem, you can say like, well, just change the aperture along with the focal distance. It doesn't work that way. And there, this is an example of this. So if you watch the guy here, so when he changes focus here, that's what I'm doing. And you can see here, I wonder if I can, I thought there was a way to change that, but you can see that he gets out of focus, really blurred, and then he goes back into focus a bit. And that's because the speed of which the focal distance changes the depth of field on him and the amount that aperture changes it are not at the same rate. So aperture, when I think is slower than focal distance, and that's why when I go further away, he gets really, really blurred. But then once it gets to the end, then the drop of the aperture catches up and it puts it back in focus. So you get this weird like moment where it's being extra unfocused, extra fuzzy. I guess that's the word for it. So yeah, you can play with that, but it's really hard to test because you have to render it every time. You can't just sit here and go, well, I mean, I guess you could, but and say, what does it look like here? And then what does it look like here? So that's where it gets messy. This scene build is like super basic, I think. It's just hills. I wonder if, did I put, I'm wondering if I should, I think I had tried it. Like, normally if I want to portray distance, I'll put like a blue volumetric light, very like a haze through it, and it adds that like blending into the sky. I'm wondering if I should do that. And actually, I almost should add another hill right here. I'm gonna add another hill over there. Hmm? Oh. He's on the phone. Let's add this one. That should work. He's making dinner. So he's making noise in the background. I'm going to try adding that. Is there a light that's already covering? Ooh, that is covering a huge amount of area. That'll work. I do want to switch over to show you something that I mentioned on a previous stream in a bit here. I'd rendered out something quick before here. I have to go and fix it. Or do a fix on the render, but I can show what I was going to mean. It was regarding how do you make a looping GIF with particle effects. So, and what I mean by that is particle effects are random, and so normally when you're looping, you kind of try to get the animation to match within your time frame. But when you have particles, they don't have that. So how do you get that to work in a render? So I was going to show how to do that. So because of this, I want to have this hit just the certain layers in the background. So I'm going to go make this an uber light, which is going to break my light because the cutoff is too low. So I'm going to put the cutoff back up. That is a big light. Alright, now it's fine. If I'm doing volumetric though, I have to keep the window as tight to what I'm working in as possible, because it only has so many layers. A volumetric light is a bunch of you can actually see it there, like those lines. It's a bunch of layers of like textures, and then it just blends them all together. But if you stretch it out too far, it stretches those layers out too much, and you lose detail. You start getting like layered stuff. So that should work. And then I made this an uber light, so I have access to change the width and height of the light. So I want to drop the width so that I can kind of squeeze it in for a little bit of that. Just a tighter area. Okay. And now I do not want this actually lighting anything. So this has a really high value. I don't want it actually lighting a surface. I want it just doing the volumetrics. So I'm going to drop the intensity and increase the volumetrics. Now it is just fog. So it's going to make things bright if it goes in front. But first I'm going to... Well, actually, let's just change this color to something weird. And then let's up that intensity. I want to be able to see where it is that this light is hitting. So I'm going to go up a little bit so that it kind of, if I get the top of the light, it might balance it better. So the one thing I have to be concerned about is that this hill is also going to be hit by it. Let's see if I can do this. This would be new. One other thing we're going to try. That actually... Okay, that's good. Well, even that's too low, or not low enough. So what I did here was I made a constant attenuation light. So if you want me to get technical, so light has three different types of attenuation. So that's constant, linear, and quadratic. The default is quadratic. That's why this little meter here is set to the middle. So it's set to the default of 1500. And what that means is how fast is the light's brightness falling off from the light. So whatever value you're giving for the brightness is what the brightness is at the very, very, very point of the light, which is right here. And then everything after that is just a reduction of that number. So that's why lights fade off into the distance. And you can change how that quadratic attenuation works and how it bounces off that amount. But you can also do linear. So quadratic means that for, like, say every for every 1 foot from the light, it drops two units of brightness. So the further you go out, it starts dropping faster and faster and faster. A linear attenuation means for every foot of distance, it drops at 1 unit of light. So it's an equal drop. So it just means very constant, straight line. Or it's constant in its decrease. Constant attenuation, degradation factor, that works too. Constant attenuation, on the other hand, is where the light is of the same brightness from the point it comes out of the light to the far side of the light. But that, if you think about it then, if a light is super bright and is able to travel this all the way across this entire thing on quadratic, it means when I turn on constant, it is no longer reducing that, so it's taking the brightness from the base of the camera and then shoving that out. Meaning it is going to be immensely bright when it gets to the end. Every time I used to turn on constant attenuation, I was always like, but it does nothing. It just makes the light super, super bright. No, it was making the light just not fall off. So it actually works pretty useful, because in this case, I didn't want it falling off and going all the way across. But constant attenuation has a problem, and that is it's not going to show it on here because this is already a low brightness light, but the main problem is pony eyes. So if I go and pull a regular light here, that's why I zoomed in on Big Mac's face to make sure it wasn't affected. Let's say we had this light that Applejack had shining at her. So it's just this fairly decent light. Well, eyes on the ponies take light in differently, which is super, super useful, because let's say, let me just let's say that I wanted to have, this kind of a cool aesthetic in the background there. It's like freaking Persona. Let's say I wanted this, but I also wanted to have her other eye sort of visible. Well, the problem is, say that I go and put another light here. Well, now I'm lighting up her body, and I don't want that. I only want to light her eye. So it's like, well, you could try to position this as close as possible, and then like decrease the brightness, whatever. But the neat thing with eyes is that you can separate the light from the model, but it's using kind of a, I guess you could say, you could say it's like a glitch. So if I go into this light and I have to turn on Uber, so Uber light basically unlocks some of these controls, but in doing so, it makes it so that some of these controls are automated within other ones. So like the width and the height control of the light is all built into its horizontal FOV and vertical FOV. But as soon as you go and make it an Uber light, it detaches those, so you have control, but now you have to do it manually. Well, one of the things that it does is cut on and cut off. Well, normally min and max is about what models are actually being hit by it. Cut on and cut off literally just takes is a lot better in that fade range. But a light, as long as it doesn't have shadows, will always hit the eye no matter what, which is pretty nice. Especially, say we invert the cut on and cut off, so we say there, instead of it having this range, if you go past each other, you're technically negating its existence. But if I do that with this, it still lights the eye, which is really, really useful. So in this scene, I could be like that. See, now I have it so you can actually see the eye in the dark. Hello, Skylight, and thank you very much. That is one of the most useful things that you can do with the lights. But the problem is when it comes to the constant attenuation. So let's say that I wanted to have a constant light passing through this pony. Well, we are going to I'm going to delete this one. So if I disable shadows on this, you can, and then we turn on our constant attenuation. So that means I have to decrease this brightness to like compensate. Oops. But there's a problem. The eye still takes the normal brightness. So, even though I've dropped it here, it's still looking at, it's always going to be overblown. It's always going to be way, way, way too bright. So, no, we're not making the intro or anything. It's just something else. But yeah, so the constant attenuation is great, but if there's anybody's eyes in the shot, it's bad. Even if I have it like way back here, as soon as it pops in, it's going to affect it. And sometimes even if it's way off to the side, it just doesn't take much. So constants are great, but they're also detrimental and they're frustrating. So I tend not to use them much, but in this case, they're only hitting this area in the backgrounds, which makes it so it's pretty okay. But for this, we don't want red. We're actually going to do, like, I want to match that color of the sky. I think that's pretty good right there. But that's too strong. I just wanted something that's kind of minor. Yeah, like even that. It's just something. Maybe even that drops it down a little bit. And if anything, let's add one other one here. So this one's going to be white. We're going to pump that brightness up a little bit for now. We're going to put it right at the base of the horizon. That is because at the horizon it tends to be a little whiter than it does higher in the sky. If you just pay attention to, like, or if you have like low fields by where you are or something, and you can see long distances, so it's going to be a little whiter. That's pretty good. It blends a little bit better. I've actually played around with doing lighting like that before. There's actually, if you play around with on the models, there is there's this. It doesn't look like much, but what this is doing, and it's hard to see on stream, it's black to just slate gray. So this is kind of telling light how to bend around something. And if you go and open this up for like TF2 is a very different light warp. If you actually you should look. So like here's for snow, then the pyro has the one, but this is one that gets interesting. So that's posterized. So this is what SFM can do with posterized. So it's saying that as it bends, it goes from light to dark, like really, really quickly. So you can make kind of like I guess Photoshop's idea of a cutout, or just that line art style. It can be interesting, but to make it work, the engine isn't built to put light on a model in such a way, or even all the everything around it in such a way, that you would have to go and modify everything. You'd have to custom build the map to make it work. And it's difficult. And so it's that's why even on here it's like on a black background. So you can do some really, really cool things with it, but to do it you would have to put a lot of time into modifying everything to fit what you need. And not only that, if you turn it at a specific angle, it might change like one of the shadows in such a weird way that it doesn't work. So you have to like put something in place to like hide that fact, or in post you're gonna have to mask that area out or something. So it allows it, but there's probably a lot better softwares out there that will do very similar things without that frustrating modifying everything. I believe actually I believe Zachariah Scott actually did a stylistic approach with that, and actually I think that was right at the beginning. I think it was this one. Yeah, so he kind of did that where it was not quite the cartoony style, but it was using that like high red, high contrast bit with it. So this wasn't gonna load, but and so yeah, I haven't really played around with it too much. I did play around with it a little bit because I was trying to I believe I wanted to make something with Aku, and I was trying to see if I could get the Samurai Jack style of cartoon, because you could even almost animate at a low frame rate and actually make a cartoon in it, but it ended up being way more difficult than I thought it was going to be, and I gave up. But on a side thing, I did want to show how to do that one bit. That's actually why I originally opened Photoshop, but then I realized I have to re-render because the animation's in 30 frames per second instead of 24, like I did it in. It takes about 5 minutes to render, so I can't do it here, but I can get the premise across. I think for the most part, I can call this done. Oh, no, hold on. I gotta fix her. There we go. There we go. Is there the only one of those two claws in the background are moving, but not the other two? I believe they actually are all moving. Yeah, they are moving. This one is moving. It's just it's just going slow. I want them going at different paces because if they're all moving at the same pace, it just feels like you're rotating in like a dome. So I always try to make all the clouds move at different paces. It's the same thing like here. You could take static 2D models and make something look pretty detailed. The same thing like here. All those are just 2D models in the background, along with a moving skybox. I don't even think there's that many models. Nah. But I'm still gonna keep that one yellow because I feel like there's still something I'm missing there. I think I'd like animate their eyes or something. In the oven?
Yeah, it's not gonna be ready till like 8:20. Phone call.
But no, so I wanted to show how to do that. Oh, hello, Midprem.
Hey, Midprem.
No, though Spike should die. Well, actually, hold on. Well, we shall make him die. Hold on. He's dead. Rip.
I'm not happy.
Actually, do I still have... Oh, I still have the bird.
Midprim, you need to tell people in the chat to stop wanting to minch so much.
Here we go.
It's not healthy. What is he landing on? Oh, poor bird. It's not a good luck. It is. Oh no. Hey, Midprim, take a minute and look up the Urban Dictionary for that. Look up the Urban Dictionary for minch. No, the bird has to explode.
Here we go. No. Oh, we gotta do this. No audio here.
Poor bird.
Okay. Joke's over. He is eating it, yes.
Eat the birds.
It's still going. No.
He killed the birds.
Do you know? I know a.
It's not an MLP stream. It's a Argo Tortures Ponies stream.
Yes.
Has been for a while now.
I can make Michael go daw really quick.
Aww. Yay! It's so cute. She got the hosies. She go woo. No, good tools. Because everybody in your chat is constantly like, oh, we're gonna go minch. You gotta go minch. Minching is so good. And then Giz looked up minch on like Urban Dictionary last night, and we're like, no, everybody stop minching right now. So every time we saw people saying it, we couldn't help but like giggle. At the same time being horrified.
Anyways, I was going to show how to do something here. So I was, I'm as these are showing, I do on the Rathalos thing. I'm doing some stupid responsive or stuff. So I made a God Rathalos in like 20 minutes, and it's not going to work 100%, but it will show how to loop a render with particles.
It wasn't the initial intent, I swear. Minch. Giz ruined it for me.
So right now it's at 24, but I have to re-render it at 30. So we have God Rathalos, and
how did Rathalos get into this pony stream?
Oh no, I wanted to show how to loop particles because it's animated. But he's not going to loop perfectly because I realized that it is a 30 frames animation, and I had it in 24, so it actually won't match. Yep. So, but nonetheless, I can try to get it pretty close. So. But normally what you'd want to do is find where this loops, so, which I'm going to say, let's just say it's right here. Yeah, it is. Actually, all the music I have here fits. So I want to cut this. So now I have two, and this is going to be in a video group, so I want to split the video group so that I now have them on top of each other. Now we want to make sure that they are matching up. So this is, when I did this render, I had originally rendered it, so like say it's a 3 second a 3-second loop, you'll want to render about at least 6, but probably 9 of the same loop with the particle effect going on. So the particle effect that's a problem right now is that the sparkles. So, and again, since I'm in the wrong frame rate, I'm not going to be able to match this up perfectly. But I'm going to just look and say, is this close? Not really. Let's just say that that's right, because I don't want to try to figure that out when it's not going to work anyway. So what I do is I overlap them so that you have like one of the bits on top of the other, so that they're, when you go back and forth between the two, the only difference you really see between them are the particles. And then we're basically just going to fade between them. So I'm going to open this up, and it lets you do the opacity. So you just set the opacity at like some point, and then I'm going to pick a point later and again. So right now, because there's just 2 keyframes, but they're not actually doing anything. But I'm going to go back to this first one, and, or no, I'm going to go to this last one. That was what it was. And I am going to, all right, I think this was the one. Okay, so this was the one that was originally at this point. So from here to here, it's a, okay, maybe it wasn't that one. Was it this direction? Okay, yeah, so it's that direction. So from here to here, it's perfectly smooth. Meaning that if I put this here, from here, let's put that here. Let's just say that's the end here. There. From when this ends and it goes back to the beginning here, it would be the beginning of this one. I gotta remember I got this right. I end up running into this back and forth thing all the time when I'm doing it myself. Okay, yes. So the top one is fine at the beginning, but by the end of it, I want it to be what's on the bottom one. So I will actually mix my things here. So I will have, I want this to fade out. Actually, I can pick any point in the middle here, and I'm going to keep this one at 100%, and I'll put this one at 0%. So now these are actually fading between each other. What that will mean is these are not matching at the exact ends here. But what that will mean is that since this fades in the beginning, it starts by viewing the top of this one, then fades to be viewing this one, but then this one at the end of it matches up with the top of this one. So by doing that, you get the particles where you can see between these two. And actually, even with Rathalos, you can't even really tell the difference here too. But you're seeing, you can see the particles fade. So like if you watch that one, fade away, and it gets replaced with other ones. So this lets you take and loop particles, which are just random bits of stuff, which is pretty nice. And that's the way I do it. But I have to re-render this. That's going to take like 5 or 6 minutes, and I'm not going to just sit here for 5 or 6 minutes and do nothing as it renders. So I'm going to do that afterwards. But it's for like a 20-minute quick response to comments on Twitter. So I have I'm hoping that they respond the way that I want them to, because then I have a follow-up. But yes, otherwise we have God Rathalos. I'm trying to think of like a God reference.
So much dash derp. Derp dash.
But yeah.
Rathalos. He is of so many pixels.
He's too big. He's too powerful. It's like when there's like a horrible TV or movie where they go and zoom in on the television screen like really, really close on the news article, and they're like 7 dead at 11.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Anyway, I'm gonna actually do the reel of that after this. So
Ponies.
But that will be the end of this. I'm going to render this out.
Ponies are gone now.
Yeah, and I knew it would crash. But no helicopters. Though that ended up being one of my favorites. Oh,
It's all broken.
it ended up being a popular comment of
Soon.
somebody was like, "Helicopter incoming," and I did that. But I can like or that one, you can put these together in a couple minutes. Though it can't. I don't have eye control for Rathian, so I had to use Photoshop to adjust to make her angry. And it actually worked. Birthday.
You have a random picture of Garfield.
It's not.
No, that's right.
So that one took me forever because I had to redraw his finger. I had to redraw his whole arm here, part of his arm here. I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff. That was actually a complicated edit, but anyway. Oh, and somebody talking about porn. Me disappoint. But anyway. So yeah. But anyways, that is going to be it. I'll be back on Friday working on more stuff. Yeah. Always have a good week.
Bye.
God Rathalos, which bids you farewell.
No. You're not Kitty. Explosions.
Anyway, yeah, have Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty.
You can unsubscribe. That's fine.
I'm subscribed.
I'm gonna unsubscribe to you too. I'm gonna unsubscribe to your YouTube.
Oh no.
I'm gonna put in a complaint and get you demonetized.
Oh no. That's all the muns.
Mm-hmm. But okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go.